Our opponent stated a series of statistics and facts regarding animal testing. The only problem was that it lacked the specifics when making certain assertions. When saying that, quote, the total amount of dogs and cats killed each year is 13.4 million, unquote, clarify what scale this is, saying whether it's internationally or domestically, and then also, let's clarify whether these animals, these dogs and cats, were killed as a result of animal testing, or whether this is just generally. Because remember, we can just mislead the audience when stating these statistics. Remember that the laws and acts of countries around the globe also have different requirements and standards that research scientists and institutions have to meet when the process of animal testing. Also, we'd like to point out that in the process of stating overgeneralized statistics and facts, our opponent failed to provide an alternative plan to animal testing if it were banned globally. All products on the market, including cosmetics, medicines, vaccines, must be tested before being dispersed among the global market. The process of recalling products is one that companies and organizations look to avoid before putting a product out for public use. And animal testing is actually the proper currently the proper method, as controversial as it is, to remove this risk. More importantly, having a product freely put on the market without any sort of scientific testing is actually extremely dangerous to the average consumer, and then also almost any person around the world, whether it's in a third world country or in a developed country like the United States today. We will acknowledge that our opponent is correct in stating certain facts and statistics regarding the number of certain species killed each year and deaths that occur in the process of animal testing. But our opponent, however, fails to recognize the positives that come out of animal testing, and they're only recognizing the negative side of it. So basically, our opponent's only giving us one side of this whole process. Toxicology tests, in fact, are very necessary to eliminate the danger for the average consumer. We must remember that animals and humans have a closely resembling organ system, and this is why animals provide an effective alternative for experimentation. In fact, we share 95% of our genes with mice, and that makes them an effective replica for testing. And let's remember, too, a number of the most prominent medical science breakthroughs of the 20th century were discovered through animal testing. Let's use penicillin for example, one of the most commonly used antibiotics since its discovery back in 1928. Although Alexander Fleming, the man who discovered penicillin, never actually used animal testing to discover the drug, he did use it to test its effectiveness and develop its effectiveness on people. This completely debunks our opponent's claim of animal testing being, quote, irrelevant, unquote, and saying that animal experimentation does not, quote, benefit humans as much as it should, unquote. If we alter the status quo, scientific advancement and development in our world will slow drastically if we're not given an alternative to animal testing. The progress we as a human race make through animal testing is undeniable. Cancer survival rates have begun to rise with the experimentation on mice. Also, smallpox, a major epidemic in the 19th century among people around the world, was actually been eradicated due to animal testing. The last case being back in 1977. More importantly, we see critics of animal testing claiming, including our opponent, that the cruelty that goes on with eating experimentation. However, rats, mice, birds, and fish are the foremost experimented species in the United States according to the government, and these species are not protected under the Animal Welfare Act. So therefore, according to our government, it's not illegal nor inhumane.